Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome for the first time. Today I'm going to take you through a beginner Pilates class, a beginner series of exercises. If you're new to Pilates, if you're coming back to it after a long break, if you're dealing with an injury, just kind of a very straightforward, gentle introduction to the work. So come on and join me. Find a space on the floor that is flat, free of obstacles as much as you can manage where you are, and let's start lying down. You'll lie all the way down on the back, and I will say that as we change position, it's safer to go to one side, to come up from there, and then same way if you're sitting to then make your way down. If it's just too much, to go flat down. If you have any kind of abdominal stuff going on, if you have back injuries, if you get dizzy really easily, you want to be mindful of how you get down to the floor and back up. So just something to think about. Let's start with your feet flat on the floor. Just taking an inhale and exhale. Take a couple more breaths. Just come into your body. Come into the space. Try to be free of distractions. So don't have your phone by you, unless this is what you're watching me on. But try to have it out of reach. So you can take this time just fully for you. As you're breathing, noticing what parts of the back of your body are touching the floor. And notice if you can, if there's any space between the back of your body and the floor. We all have natural curves of our spine. There will be a little bit of a curve underneath the low back and a little bit of a curve behind your neck for the average person. Everyone is different. Some have more or less. But just paying attention to that, becoming aware of it as we go. Bring your knees in towards you. Give your legs a little hug and take a little rock side to side. Whatever feels comfortable, knees wide, knees together. We're just going to do some easy stretching before we start. Be more intentional and direct with the core. Keep your right knee in, take your left leg onto the mat. If this is enough of an opening in that hip, just stay here. If it's too much, grab the pillow, put it underneath your foot. With this right knee, let that right knee cross towards the left and then turn your head to the right. Let your right hip lift off the floor, and including the head in this, the whole spine is getting just a little bit of a twist. You should feel it around the back of the right hip. Nice stretch. And I'm going to come back to your back and we'll switch legs. Take the right leg long onto the floor or close to it. Bend that left knee in. And I lifted my head up just to see where my right leg was, trying to have it in line with your hip, if that feels okay. And now with the left knee, we're gonna let it cross. You're gonna let the left hip lift, and you're gonna turn your head to the left. You can extend your left arm on the floor if you have the space and it feels good. A little bit of a stretch and an opening in that shoulder. And then come on back to your back. Let both legs go long underneath you. And pick your head up and just see naturally how the legs want to fall. And just let them be for right now. Float your arms to the ceiling. And then take your arms overhead. Notice, does your back arch when your arms go overhead? It probably will. That's fine. Bring the arms back to the ceiling and then all the way down. Do that one more time. Allow the arms to go all the way behind. Perhaps they're wider, perhaps they don't get all the way back there. All good. And then back to the ceiling and to the floor. Bend the knees, bring your feet flat again. Making sure, or being a little more mindful now about having the legs be as wide as your hips, and that your hips, your knees, your ankles, and your toes are in the same line. Float the arms to the ceiling again. This time, reach your arms behind you, but only as much as your spine stays long. The back does not arch, and the rib cage does not pop open. So we're thinking about quite a few things right away. If it's too much to think about, just take one or two things and think about that for now. So as the arms reach overhead, how far can they reach? Keeping the rib cage closed, keeping the spine long, not letting the back arch. It probably won't be all the way to the floor for most of us. And then take the arms to the ceiling and then all the way forward down to the hips. Take an inhale as the arms reach up and overhead, and then take an exhale as they come forward and down. Two more like that. One more. And then pause for a moment. We're going to incorporate the breath a lot as we go. I like to think of the exhale as as an opportunity to engage those abdominal muscles. And I use my exhale when I need to use my abs more. Something to think about as we go. Take the arms back to the ceiling. Reach the arms overhead again. We're going to add a curl up of the head and the shoulders as the arms reach. So arms will do just what they did, exactly what they just did. And then the arms reach, and that action lifts the head and the shoulders. The body will go down, and then the arms follow. Exhale to curl up, reach the arms. Inhale. Again, reaching the arms up. Exhale as you lift the head and the shoulders, reach those arms. And then inhale. Starting to articulate the spine. We're getting into those upper abdominals by lifting the head and the shoulders. One more. And then bring the arms all the way down. Good. I'm going to flip you over onto your hands and knees briefly just to give a little better understanding of something that I want to talk about early on. So come to one side and then come to your hands and your knees. Have your hands under your shoulders, have your knees under your hips. If it's too much on your wrist, you can roll up the edge of your mat. You can put a towel underneath to have the palms of your hands higher. That will help release the pressure off of the wrist. You can also come to forearms and elbows if you would like. So now, in this hands and knees position, we ideally want to start in a flat back. So as if you were underneath a table, because we're all under a table at some point in our day. So feeling long from the crown of your head through the tailbone. And then once we find that flat back, we're going to engage those abdominals. You're going to tuck your pelvis under, meaning your pelvis will scoop under, your tailbone will drop, your spine will lift, and your head will drop. It looks like this. And then from this curve, we're going to find that flat back, move through it, and arch. Tilt the pelvis, stick your butt out, and lifting the head. Still keep the core active. Engage deeper to lift the spine. Round, tuck the tail, lengthen the spine, and arch. So we're allowing this natural connection between our head and our tailbone to occur. But once we get back to our backs, we're going to try to separate the upper half from the lower half, meaning when we do any kind of abdominal curls with the upper body, we want our pelvis to stay still. So let's try it here. It might feel weird. So we're going to have a flat back. Keep your pelvis where it is, and can you just drop the head and then lift? Think about it in that way, just allowing the head to drop. Perhaps that upper spine is curling a little bit, and then drop, and then flat back, and just one more. And then flat back. Bring your feet together, let your knees go wide, take a child's pose if it feels okay for you. Arms can be long in front of you. If you'd rather the arms behind, that works too. Take a long inhale and a deep exhale. And just one more breath. from this child's pose, make your way back onto your back. Knees bent, legs and feet parallel, hip distance apart. Pelvis is going to stay where it is. Hands will come behind the head. We're going to curl the head and the shoulders up, and then lower down. If we keep that connection between the head and the tailbone, which is naturally what wants to happen, our butt is going to kind of tuck under. So that's kind of what happens, which we don't really want that, because that is engaging those hip flexors, it's tightening those hip flexors, it's not doing anything to strengthen those lower abdominals. So we want to keep the pelvis flat. Think tailbone reaching away, or, well, I'm just going to say that. Think tailbone reaching away, flat, heavy pelvis, down, down, down. Let's try that again. Hands behind the head. Take an inhale here, and then your exhale will curl you up and lower down. Curl up and lower down. And we're only going to the tips of the shoulder blades so that we don't force anything. It's a little more beneficial in a way to isolate and to have these upper abdominals working on that curl up, and we're starting to find lower abdominal engagement to keep the pelvis where it is. Let's do 3 more. Have the elbows open if you can. We'll do 1 more. And then rest. You can stay as you are. You can bring those knees in if you want. We'll go into our abdominal series, which is a series of 5 exercises that Joseph Pilates incorporated into his mat class. We can do variations on all of these. We can make them less challenging, and we can make them more challenging. I'm going to give them to you as they were, but I will try to give you options for most of them if we can. So the head and the shoulders are curled up for all of it. At any point when that's the case, if your neck starts to hurt, just take your head down, let the neck relax for a moment, and then get back into it. You will build up that upper core strength and the back strength to help keep the head lifted. It's probably going to take a while just because of how our bodies are used to being. So you might find that the neck is hurting more than you would like it to. Take the head down. You can also just loosen up. You can also exhale, just kind of reset when you need to. So our series of 5 abdominal exercises. Single leg stretch, double leg stretch, single straight leg stretch, double straight leg stretch, and crisscross. That is the traditional order of things. So curl the head and the shoulders up. Actually, before we do that, we're going to find a tabletop position with the legs. Let's go back to the foundations. So meaning one leg is in the air, or both legs, but tabletop. Knee is bent at a 90-degree angle, and your shin is parallel to the floor. Your knee and your ankle are in the same line. That's the ideal tabletop position. One leg, both legs, however we do it. Hip distance apart, all the way together, flexed feet, pointed feet, different variations, but the proper position, 90-degree angle, parallel shin, knee and ankle in the same line. That's tabletop. So, have the legs in the air towards you. Curl the head and the shoulders up. Bring those legs to tabletop. You will keep your right knee in. You're going to straighten your left leg. And then you will switch. Bend the left knee in and take the right leg long. This is our single leg stretch. If you want to think about the hands and the coordination piece of this, when the right leg is in, the right hand is at the ankle on the outside, and the left hand is at the knee on the inside. When the left leg is in, the left hand is at the ankle, the right hand is at the knee. If that's too much to think about today, don't worry about it. Let's do 1 or 2 more each leg. And then bend the knees in, take the head down and rest. Those are single leg stretch. Anytime that our limbs are going away from us, the farther away they are, so bent versus straight, the harder it is to get them back in. And the lower the leg, the more your pelvis is going to want to go with, because like, oh my gosh, it's so heavy and it's so much to maintain control of. So at any point, if you find your back is arching or your back is hurting, that's a cue that your legs are too low. So just bring them up a little bit higher. And we want to go directly out and directly in, as opposed to out and down, because that also is going to disrupt things. So that was our single leg stretch. One knee bent, one leg long. Abdominal series number 2 is double leg stretch. Both legs will straighten and bend at the same time. Ideally, the legs are all the way together, and you can find some stability and symmetry by gently pressing one leg into the other and being aware of the midline of your body. Head and shoulders are curled up the whole time. When the legs straighten, your arms will go overhead, and then everything comes back in. Just the arms and the legs move. The core, the center of the body, is nice and strong. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And then rest in. Double leg stretch. Single straight leg stretch is next. Keep one knee in, take one leg straight and let that leg go to the floor for a moment. Stretch that right leg long towards the ceiling and hold on behind the thigh to feel a stretch in the back of that right leg. If you want, you can curl the head and the shoulders up. You can reach for that calf if you would like. This part technically isn't part of the abdominal series. I just like to give a little bit of a stretch before we ask the legs to be straight. And then let's switch. Right leg down, left leg long, hold on behind the thigh. Curl up if you would like to reach a little higher to get a little deeper stretch. And then bend that knee, making sure that you have space in front of you, which I did not. I think I do now. So we'll start with both knees in. Curl the head and the shoulders up. Take your right leg to the ceiling. Take the left leg low, but not to the floor. Hold on to the back of the right leg, either the thigh or the calf. Do a double pull towards you, and then switch legs. Pull, 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 pull. Keep going. Your core is engaged so that the body doesn't rock as we pull on the leg. How's your neck doing? If it's tight, take the head down. You can hold on lower down on that leg. Let's just do one more right, one more left. And then bend the knees and rest the head. If it feels good, you can take a little rock, you can take a little twist. Be gentle with your bodies as you go, especially if you're brand new to this or if you're coming back from not doing it for a while. So those are single straight leg stretch. Double straight leg stretch is next. The name kind of gives it away. So curl the head and the shoulders up. This is my least favorite of the 5, I have to say. Take both legs long. Take your hands behind your head. I do want to give you the option to leave the head down. Take your thumbs under your tailbone, and that's a little tactile cue to help keep your tailbone down. So let's do it this way with the hands under the tailbone if that feels okay for you. Legs all the way together, curl the head and the shoulders up, take the head down if the neck is not feeling it. You'll slowly lower the legs, maybe halfway, and then exhale to lift. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. 1 more. Bend the knees, rest the head. So I say that's my least favorite. It's so easy for our pelvis to go with our legs when they're both long, and it's tempting to want to challenge ourselves. How low can I go without letting that pelvis rock? And it's hard. So anyway, maybe that will not be your least favorite. We'll see. Let me know. Last in our abdominal series is our crisscross, which is a rotation in the upper part of the body. Your legs are what the first legs were for that single leg stretch. Hands will be behind the head, and we want the pelvis to stay nice and still. So there is a modification with this one to just do the whole thing with the legs down. I'm going to show it to you what it is in full form, and then we'll try some modifications too. So you'll start with the legs in tabletop. You want to feel both the tailbone down and both hips down. You will twist your body to the right, and you'll straighten your left leg, and then you'll twist left and straighten the right. Curl up and twist right. Stay lifted, twist left, and right, and left. Opposite leg straightens. Do 2 more each side. And then rest down. That can be challenging because we're twisting, we're moving the legs, they're in the air. If you want to just focus on the twist without really thinking about the legs, let's do some things with that. So hands behind the head, knees bent, feet flat, parallel, hip distance apart. Curl up in the center, twist to the right shoulder blade, twist to the left shoulder blade, come center and down. Remembering that the pelvis stays right where it is. We're going to twist the opposite way now. And curl up in the center, twist to the left, twist to the right, center, and down. We're going to do 1 more each direction. Curl up in the center. As you twist right, feel the left hip down, and as you twist left, feel the right hip down. Come center and lower. Last time. Curl up, twist left, twist right, center, and down. Pause for a moment. We're going to do the same thing with our upper body, but we're going to add an arm to it. The feet will stay down. You'll curl up in the center, twist to the right, reach your left arm towards the outside of the right leg, come through center, twist left, reach the right arm to the outside of the left leg. Stay lifted, do that again. Twist right, reach with the left, twist left, reach with the right. And again, to the right and to the left, to the right and to the left. 2 more sets. 1 more set. Come center and down and rest. Hug those knees in, take a little rock side to side. You can let the knees fall one way, turn your head the other way to get a twist throughout the spine. So that was our abdominal series, our series of 5 with an additional twisting modification at the end. So just for your brains and just so you're aware if you take a class or whatnot, just so you know what's coming. So our series of 5, it was a single leg stretch, 1 knee bent, 1 leg long. And then we had our double leg stretch, everything out and in. And then we had single straight leg stretch, 1 leg up, 1 leg down, pull, pull. And then my least favorite one, the double straight leg stretch, lower and lift. And then we had our crisscross, rotating, 1 knee bent, 1 leg long, abdominal series of 5. Bring those feet down. We're gonna intentionally move the lower half of the spine now. Woohoo! Finally. So we're gonna do some bridging, which means we're gonna articulate through the spine. We're gonna engage the hamstrings and the glutes. If you have any kind of spinal surgery, any injuries, You want to be careful with articulation. You want to talk to your doctor and know what kind of movement is okay to do or not okay to do. So if you're unsure, leave it out for today, check with someone who knows, and then come back. So if we're all good, making sure that that alignment is there, you'll keep the toes down. Some people tend to lift their toes. I think there's something in our brains or maybe some connection in our spine with the nerves that cause our toes to lift. I don't know what it is, but feel all 10 toes down the whole time as much as you can. We're going to tuck the pelvis under, so not arch, but scoop. We're going to lift the hips, and we're going to lift the spine off the floor. You always want to keep your head in line with your spine the whole time. Go ahead and roll down. We're not going to do a bunch of these. Anytime we do anything where our weight is kind of shifting towards our upper spine, you always want to keep your head in line. You never want to turn your head to the side. You can damage your neck, you can damage your spine, and we want to avoid that. So head centered the whole time. Bridging, any kind of rocking or rolling, always keep the head center. Let's come back to our bridge. Arms down. See if you can feel your shoulders opening. Press down in the feet, tuck the pelvis, engage the hamstrings and your butt, your glutes, to lift to that bridge. And then rolling down. Do 2 more. Tuck the pelvis, lift the hips, peel the spine up. Now at our upmost point, we want to be flat. We want to have shoulders, hips, knees in one line that's kind of on an angle, and you don't want to lift so much that your ribs open. It's about finding that flat body on an angle. And then as you roll down, feel your tailbone reaching further away, just to get even more length in that spine. One last time. Tuck the pelvis, peel the spine up, lifting into the bridge. And then rolling down. If you find that this is painful for your knees, you can take your feet a little wider and you can have a little bit of a turnout in the legs. But if you do have that turnout, making sure that it comes from the thigh, that your whole leg is turning out and not just from the ankle or the knee. We might talk about that, or we might hold that on for another video. There's so much to share. All right, everyone, bring the knees in, take a little rock side to side. Let the knees fall to the left, turn your head right. And then let your knees fall right, turn your head left. And then coming back to the center. All right, so we did some upper body curls. We did some rounding and arching, some cat-cow on all fours. We did our abdominal series of 5. We did some bridging. Let's continue with that spine articulation, and we'll do some roll downs and roll ups. So I want you to bring the legs in towards you. Hold on to the backs of the legs and lift your butt, lift your body. Lift your butt, roll back, lift your head and shoulders, roll up. A little rock, forward and back. If you're not feeling this little rock, hold tight. I'll join you in a minute. I'll give you an option. You're going to eventually come all the way up. Pull and a push with the hands and the legs to come up nice and easy. If you were not feeling that, come to your side and then assist and come all the way up. How we doing? Take the silence as a good. All right, take the legs along in front of you. Reach forward for the toes. Just take a stretch for a moment. Wherever you reach is totally fine. And then you will sit nice and tall, finding your sits bones underneath you and trying to sit up on the body. If the hamstrings are tight, this can feel a little bit uncomfortable, so you can bend those knees a little. I'm going to do a roll down and a roll up. I'll show the traditional way, and then I will show and talk through a modification. So you will sit nice and tall. You'll reach the arms forward. You're going to tuck the pelvis around the spine, with control, take yourself all the way back onto the floor, onto the mat. Let the arms reach overhead like they were before, not so much that the back arches. And then lift the arms to the ceiling. Curl the head and the shoulders up. Exhale to round up. And then sit tall. So it's hard. It's a hard one to do because your core is bringing you back up and your breath, and that's kind of it. So if you're coming to Pilates, if you're new to Pilates, if you're coming back to it, most people want to strengthen their core, meaning your core might not be strong enough yet to get you all the way up or all the way down with control. Totally fine. If that's the case, follow me. Start with the arms reaching forward, round back, grab onto the legs, really pull the legs, and then push your legs into your hands to help bring yourself down. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Once you get down there, release the hands, straighten the legs, reach the arms overhead. Bring the hands to the ceiling. Inhale, exhale. Bend the knees, reach for those legs, pull and push. Core comes in, and then sit tall. What we don't want to happen is have those abdominals push out. You never want that to happen. That can cause damage. We want to think coming together side to side and top to bottom, and then thinking also belly button back towards the spine or towards the floor, depending on your orientation. Well, always back towards your spine, towards the floor if we're lying on our backs. So let's try that again. I will show with that modification. Starting nice and tall, knees can be bent a little bit. Reach the arms long, round back. Start to take yourself back. Grab those legs when you need to. Let go when you can. Straighten the legs. Reach the arms overhead. Arms to the ceiling. Inhale, exhale. And then sit tall. One more. Round back. Bend the knees. Grab the legs. And then rounding up. And sitting tall. And then take another stretch forward for the toes. If that option, grabbing onto those legs, if that also didn't feel good, what you can do, if going down is okay, and then that coming up is just not happening, come to your side and come up. So please take that option rather than trying to like muscle through or like push those abs out to do it. Never push those abs out. So if that coming up, if that is just not possible right now with where you are, that's fine. Make your way down in that modified way if you can. And then come to your side, whichever side you want. And then find that length here. All right, come to your hands and your knees again. Actually, come all the way down onto your stomach. And then up on the forearms and elbows. Elbows under shoulders. Hands are in line with the elbows. You can be on the pinky side of the hand. You can have your hands flat. You can have a soft fist. Whatever feels better for you is fine with me. From here, this might feel like a good stretch in the back. It does for me. So I'm going to hang out here for a moment. You can let your head drop. A little stretch in the neck. We're going to work the back of the body briefly, working some arching, some extension. We do a lot of forward flexion in our day, so it's really beneficial to reverse that. So even just being in this position with our back arched a little, with our spine arched a little, pressing down, opening up the collarbone, opening up the chest, should feel good. If it feels like too much in the low back, take your arms forward, lessen that curve. That should feel better. You're gonna bring yourself all the way down. Take your hands to the floor, have your fingertips face towards your front, and have the elbows in towards the body. Have your legs underneath you, about hip distance apart. See if you can feel the tops of the feet down on the mat. Press down in the hands. Lift your head and your chest. Press down to lift a little further, and then lower down. So you don't want to lift so high that your low back arches too much. We still want to engage the abdominals, even though we're working the back body. Take your hands a little further forward if you want and see how that feels, if you can get a little higher. We're just going to do one more. And lower all the way down. You're going to take your hands under your head to rest the head. You can rock your hips side to side. That was a version of swan. We're just going to do one or two more things in this position. Keep your upper body as is. Have the legs stay long. Lift both legs. Kick the legs behind you like you're swimming. Long, strong legs. Core is engaged. Keep going. 3 and 2 and 1. And then rest those legs. Rock the hips. Reach your arms forward. No narrower than shoulder distance, perhaps wider, like a V. We're going to add arms to our swimming, kicking legs. Best if you don't think about it. It can be confusing if you do. So lift the legs, kick the legs and swim, and then lift the arms and just move the arms up and down. One at a time, like you're swimming in the water. Keep going. 3 and 4. Oops, 3 and 2 and 1, and then rest. Sorry about that. Rock those hips. Take another child's pose if that feels good. And then join me on your hands and your knees. Round the spine, tuck the pelvis, drop the head. Lengthen and then arch. Tilt the pelvis, lift the head. This is also called cat-cow. One more. And then coming to a flat back. We're going to do one thing here. Tuck the toes under of the right foot. Take the right leg long behind you. If that feels good and you want to take it one step further, lift that right leg, but not so much that the hip lifts. If that feels good and you want to take it to our last step, reach your left arm. Really reach long through the limbs. Back of the neck is long, so try not to let the head lift and try not to let the head drop, because that might send your weight in a weird spot like it just did for me. Bring the left arm and the right leg back in. Recenter, re-engage. Tuck the left toes. Take the left leg long behind you. Stay there, or lift the left leg but not the hip. Stay there, or reach the right arm. Reaching long through the fingers and the toes. Abdominal muscles are engaged and lifted. And then bring everything back in and take another child's pose. We'll do that one more time. Whichever variation you would like. Starting with the right leg and the left arm. Feeling this cross-body connection. Stay there as you are for 3, 2, 1. Bring everything in. Left leg, right arm. Reaching long. Don't hold the breath. Stay for 3, 2, 1. And bring everything in. And then rest. Do another child's pose. You can round and arch. Do what you need for a moment. And then make your way back onto your back. We're going to go on to our hundreds, which traditionally started class I like to do it more for the middle or the end once I'm a little bit warm and I kind of know where my body is. So I'm going to give you options. Traditionally, hundreds are a breathing exercise just to get everything moving and flowing. Your core, your torso, stays where it is. Arms are about hip height. They're hovering off the floor and they're pumping up and down. Really, really feeling whole arm. I see a lot of people, it just kind of turns into like the wrist moving, but we want to feel all that connection with the arm and trying to feel that the arms are connected to the back is connected to the front, to those abdominals. So the arms are strongly pumping up and down. Head and shoulders are lifted. If the neck becomes tired, you can turn the head, you can take the head down, you can keep those arms going. Options for your legs. Knees bent, feet flat is option 1, is the most stable. You can have the legs in tabletop, hip distance apart or together. That's modification number 2. Or you can have both legs straight, modification number 3. Most stable, a little challenging, most challenging. Wherever you would like to be, wherever you would like to start. You can always change as we go. Inhale for 5 and exhale for 5. That is the traditional way to cue the breathing, and we're going to do that today. So I'm going to do it with you. Have your legs where you want them. I'm going to start with mine bent and my feet flat. Reach your arms hip height. Curl the head and the shoulders up. Pump those arms and inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Halfway there. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 4 more sets. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale. Last set. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale 2, 3, 4, and 5. Rest everything down. Nice, everyone. Hug those knees in. We're going to do a quick little side leg series just to get a little side body work. So turn onto the left side of your body. You can grab a pillow if you want to go under your head. You can take your hand under your head. Right hand is going to be on the floor or on the mat to help with balance and to help stabilize. You want to be directly on the left side of the body and not back or forth. Sometimes it's hard with this elbow, shoulder gets stuck and we're kind of crouched like that. Don't let that happen. If you have a pillow under your head, have this left arm be long. You can have it wrapped around, but have that shoulder directly underneath you. Right hand, as I said, can be on the floor for some added support. Legs will be straight and have your feet a little bit ahead of you. Having your legs underneath you is more of a challenge. Having the feet in front is more stabilizing. I typically always have my feet in front, just saying. Right hand to the mat. This top leg, both legs will stay straight for now. Top leg is going to lift and lower. That's it. Hip stays down. We're working parallel. Core is engaged to help stabilize the torso. Lift and lower. Pretend like you're wiping your foot up the wall and down the wall. Or do this with a toddler and have them actually wipe the wall. Let's do 2 more. Lift and lower. 1 more. Lift and lower. So with that exercise, we were working those outer leg muscles to lift, and we were working those inner thigh muscles, press down. Really activate those muscles. If we just kind of like phone it in, my leg is not engaged, my foot is just hanging out there, like it'll eventually work something, but really be intentional, really flex that foot, really feel like you're pushing against something. We're going to keep that leg straight. We're going to keep it in line with the hip, so as high as the hip. We're going to start with that foot flexed. We will do a double kick towards the front point the foot and take the leg to the back just once. Now this is where our body really is going to want to roll back and then roll forward. Don't let that happen. Engage those abdominals. Bottom leg is nice and strong. Bottom side is nice and strong to help anchor. So we're flexing that top foot. We're doing a double kick front. Point, single, let that leg go to the back. Feel that hip flexor stretching. Flex the foot. If you can keep your pelvis where it is, this is a stretch for the hamstring. And then point that leg, take it towards the back. We'll do one more. Double kick front, single, swing back with a pointed foot. And then bring that leg down. Bend the knees, let the legs relax for a minute. I'm just going to do two more things here, and then we'll do everything the other side. So we're going to keep this top knee bent. We're going to extend the bottom leg, and we're going to bring the top foot to the floor. Grab onto that ankle if you can. Bottom leg will stay straight. Bottom leg will do a double lift, lift, single press down. Lift, lift, press down. Lift, lift, press down, inner upper thigh. Two more. One more. And down, and then rest. That one was not quite beginner, but I threw it in. How'd you do? I hope you did okay. Come to your back for a moment. Let the body just kind of resettle, and then make your way to your right side, however you want to do it. I'm going to shift around so that I'm still facing towards the front. But you will come to the right side of your body. Legs will be straight. Supporting side, bottom side is engaged. Right hand is underneath the head, however you want to have it. Left hand can be on the floor. Feet are flexed, legs are long. Lift the top leg, press down. Lengthen out to lift, press down. Lift and lower. Engage those abdominals. Make sure you're breathing. One more. Keep the foot flexed, hip height with that leg. Double kick front. Point, swing the leg back. With a lot of the side leg stuff, the slower you go, the more you'll get out of it. It's tempting to rush. But if we rush through it, we don't have the opportunity to engage everything that we need to be. So it is better to go slower. We're going to do two more. One more. And then take that leg over the bottom leg. Bend the knees. Let the legs relax for a moment. We're going to keep the top knee bent. We're going to take the bottom leg straight. And then we're going to bring that foot to the mat. Grab onto that ankle if you can reach it. If not, no worries. Bottom foot flexed. Bottom leg double. Lift, lift, single, lower. Lift, lift, and lower. Inner upper thigh. Two more. Good, and then rest. Nice, everyone, come onto your backs. We're going to do a figure four stretch. If this feels challenging, well, let me give you options. So, cross your left ankle over your right thigh, and then you're gonna bend your right knee. If this is enough of a stretch around that left hip, stay here. If you want a deeper stretch, lift your legs towards you, hold on to the back of the right leg, and gently pull the legs towards you as this left leg kind of opens. If it's too hard for you, if it's not possible with just how your body is to be in this position comfortably, if you feel like you have to have your head lifted, I would say leave the foot down, let the head rest, grab a towel, a strap, grab something to wrap behind your right leg and around to help lift and pull and get that stretch without straining anything else. Stay here for another breath. And then uncross that left, and then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Have the left knee bent, and then lift the left leg. Grab a strap or hold on to the back of that left leg. And then when you're ready, uncrossing your legs. A nice little rock side to side. And then one last time, let the knees fall one way, turn your head the other way. And then let your knees fall the other way, turn your head the opposite. And then back to your backs. You make your way to your side. And then up to a seated position. Have your legs be crossed in whatever way feels comfortable, or if crossed doesn't feel good, you can have them out straight, you can have them bent in. We're gonna do a side stretch. So when we do our side stretch, we will get the most out of it if we can be flat in the torso and directly to the side, not back or not, and not forward. So you're gonna take your right hand to the floor between your hip and your knee. So not in line, not behind, but a little in front of your hip. Take the left arm up and curve that right side, lengthen that left side, have energy through that left arm, keep that left shoulder down, keep space between your left ear and the arm. And you want to feel the left side of your butt down, 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 down. Don't lift off because that's not really getting much of a stretch there. Then we're going to engage the core a little deeper to help come up. We're going to push with that right arm to come all the way up. Opposite side, left arm down. You can walk that left hand out if you want. You can keep it in if you would rather. And then we're going to curve the left side of the torso, and we're going to stretch the right side. I am reaching down with my right hip. I'm reaching out with my right fingers, and I'm pulling my right shoulder down. I'm engaging my abdominals so my body stays flat. You might find that one side is tighter than the other, or one side feels easier than the other. That's fine. Just kind of note that, and then notice in your day-to-day, if you are more like one-sided with anything, could lead to some imbalance. Engage the core deeper to come up. One more time each side. Right hand down, left arm over. You can extend that right arm if you want. Make sure that the low back is not arching. If it is, engage the core and think core back. Core towards the back. And then come up. Last time, left arm down, right arm over. Engaging those abdominals, breathing. And then coming all the way up. Nice work, guys. I'm gonna leave it there for today, but I will come back with more videos to break things down a little bit more and to start a little gentler with various exercises, and perhaps we'll build. So perhaps this will become a series. We'll see. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.